This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and what the is with the artwork on this box? I think a lot of people were looking forward to getting Flint in the retro card collection because nobody liked the head sculpt on the, or I shouldn't say nobody, but most people didn't like the head sculpt on the original figure. This one also leaves a little bit to be desired too. But that artwork, he looks like Sean William Scott, like, you know, Stifler from American Pie. With his mouth open and his hand like that, you think he's getting ready to do a lewd gesture. You know, the whole jerking off into your mouth thing that people do. Like, what the hell? And is this like the proportions look wrong? Like, did they use AI artwork to create this? Why didn't you just take the original artwork and throw it on there? Isn't that what they've been doing with the other retro card figures? So what the hell were they thinking? I cannot go on about this enough. I don't usually go on about the artwork like this, but what the f***? That being said, let's go ahead and finish going over the figure. On the back of the box, we get that face again as well. So we get one of the mini file cards in the 5 languages that they do these on now, with just a slight bit of information. We have Flint, Fairborne Dashiell R, role, warrant officer, primary specialty, infantry, secondary specialty, helicopter pilot, birthplace, Wichita, Kansas. A former Rhodes Island scholar and thorough tactical planner, Flint personally led a half-dozen rescue missions in hostile territories that, for obvious reasons of security, were never publicized, let alone admitted to. As part of this grouping, we have CoverGirl, blonde version. We have the Televiper, and we have Sean William Scott again playing Army Man. But let's go ahead and open this sucker up, shall we? Okay, for accessory-wise, Flint comes with a backpack. Is that supposed to be dynamite on there or something? We got a shotgun here. I believe it's the same one that came with our CoverGirl previously from the first run, where she has the anime figure box. We have a pistol, pretty standard. We'll stick that in his holster right now. It's kind of a loose fit. That's actually a really loose fit. He comes with his beret, which we'll stick that on his head. Okay, he looks a little more Flint-like. So we have hands, which is like an open kind of gripping hand type of thing. We have a pointer finger, which is making me feel like, and a fist, that he is sharing parts with Cobra Commander here, especially with the nose-picking finger. Flint himself looks like he's probably doing a lot of reuse here, I'm sure. All right, now that I got his head sculpt out of the box, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it did before. Not like the artwork, but I don't know. It still doesn't seem quite right to me. But why don't you guys tell me what you think about it? I mean, it's not horrible. It definitely looks better with the beret on than with it off. Although he's got that kind of like weird military cut thing going on with the slicked back hair. Yeah, it definitely looks better with the beret. He's got a harness to do his like weapons cache there, which is always good and bad because it does hinder some of the articulation most of the time. Well, let's talk about articulation. Head is on a ball joint. The neck is also on a ball joint, and it is moving more than the head is, so you can get him to nod. This kind of makes me think about half the people in Dead by Daylight who have like are on PC where they just stand there and they nod at you for a while. The head does spin. It is on a ball joint, so you can get the head itself to look up and down and sideways, as long as you hold the neck in place. There is a butterfly joint. It's actually a pretty well done butterfly joint this time. We can hinge the hand up and down and up and down. We can spin at the bicep, which is at his shirt sleeve. Double jointed elbow for your pleasure. Spin at the wrist, and his hand here has up and down articulation. His other hand also has up and down articulation. Also, something to note here is that it appears that the cuffs are actually painted on the forearm on this figure and not just a little thing that's slid on there. So I'm assuming we'll see those on more people. He's also got a watch on the other side. I think it says 1800 hours. We have a boob cut with him, so we can twist the upper torso around and slide it a little bit wobbly. Not as good as some of the ones that we've had, though, to be honest with you. We can get about that much of a crunch out of it. But it's very stiff, and of course, as I was mentioning before, when you start to spin it, the harness kind of takes hold. Then, of course, we have the standard waist, which, once again, you can only spin it so far. And actually, now that I think about it, because the holster is attached to the belt, which is attached to the harness, this even hinders our articulation even more, because this won't even spin with the rest of it like you might be able to get if you wanted to try hard enough. No, it's stuck down here. Which, now, I am really impressed on how they must have gotten this on there, because those arms had to have come off, and that leg had to be off also. So we don't get quite as much range of movement. I mean, it is designed with the same range of movement as G.I. Joe classified figures. It's just the harness blocks a lot of that. We do have the drop-down hips to allow for wider range of motion. So we can kick out so far. We can kick forward and back like that. So we can do the splits. Although the back leg is not going straight back because his butt's in the way. And we do have the thigh cut. We have a double jointed knee. And we have a spin at the foot. Whoa. And a hinge here as well. Of course, now we have to try to slide the harness down again in order to get everything to look nice and proper. See how well he holds onto the shotgun. You know, I want to try something. All right. That hand definitely works better for holding the barrel of the shotgun. Okay, so I know I was a bit down on that head sculpt earlier when I was talking about it, but yeah, once it was out of the package, it looked a lot better to me. I think maybe just having Sean William Scott's lewd gesture face in the picture on the other thing just kind of threw it off. But yeah, he definitely looks better than that one. I am kind of wondering how this head sculpt will compare to, say, the one coming with the Snowcat in next year. I guess we'll find out. I'll have to do a comparison then. But once you get this guy out of the package and you've got him in place, I think he looks pretty good. Also, using that slightly more open hand, I think works better with holding the barrel of the guns, which is one of the things I have complained about with some of the G.I. Joe characters previously, is that the two trigger hands just don't work well for holding the barrel also, because you have to kind of bend the fingers out and put them in there. And then eventually, especially if they're in a room that heats up in the summer, the hand will kind of remold itself into that weird position. And I think something like this would be better to add to all the characters who are having weapons where you need to have them held in two spots where it's not like a trigger grip on both sides. So yeah, I think that hand is definitely good for this Flint. I still don't understand what the hell they were thinking with the artwork. Seriously though, it feels like it's got to be AI generated. I don't think somebody actually drew that. You know what I mean? But overall, I do like this Flint figure. I think he'll be a great part of your retro card back or the cartoon collection in this case, because frankly, all the retro card backs do seem to be designed to resemble the versions from the cartoon. So yay. But why don't you guys let me know what you think about Flint here in the comments below? And especially, what do you think of that artwork? Seriously, oh my god, what the hell were they thinking? I don't know how that got approved by anybody, because that is just awful. Super, super awful. But if you enjoyed this look at the Flint, please feel free to smash the like button. And if you want to see more of my nonsense in the future, please subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.